Welcome back to Nuclear News. What we're doing is staying on top of an emerging mega trend that's taking place. Nuclear energy is literally set to become the primary fuel source of planet Earth, and every single week we cover the new developments in the space to prove that this thesis is correct. And so what's the fuel that's going to power nuclear energy? Uranium. We're in a multi-decade supply crunch again, a development we've been staying on top of. So what happened just this week in the space? Donald Trump posted this. America's nuclear renaissance will fuel Trump's goal of energy independence. So that's the incoming administration. What about the current administration? Biden-Harris announces contracts to buy U.S.-sourced low-enriched uranium. As part of the Biden-Harris administration's Investing in America agenda, the U.S. Department of Energy today selected 6 companies from which it can sign contracts to procure low-enriched uranium in order to incentivize the build-out of new uranium production capacity in the U.S. So the United States government is subsidizing uranium production. They're paying literally for uranium. What is that going to do to the price? These are the 6 companies that were selected to supply U.S. sourced low-enriched uranium. American Centrifuge Operating LLC, General Matter Inc., Global Laser Enrichment LLC, Louisiana Energy Services, Laser Isotope Separation Technologies Inc., and then Orano Federal Services. So the most powerful people on the planet are as bullish as you can possibly get on nuclear energy, and they're investing billions of dollars into it, if not hundreds of billions around the world. So the US president is literally telling you it's going to be the future of American energy. What does that do to the demand of uranium? It skyrockets it. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust announces updated at-the-market equity program. This is an ETF that stacks uranium. Their plan is to issue up to $1 billion of units. We have Wall Street firms stacking scarce uranium, putting hundreds of millions of dollars into it, taking it out of circulation. In last week's video, I talked about how 2025 is going to be essentially the first year where commercial inventories of utilities of uranium are going to drop like a rock, meaning utilities are going to have to start contracting. Well, what happens when demand skyrockets and supply shrinks? Price goes up. Now, speaking of skyrocketing demand, this comes from Meta, a massive multi-billion-dollar tech firm. They're saying they're accelerating the next wave of nuclear to power AI innovation. How are they doing this? Well, Meta announced it will release a request for proposals to identify nuclear energy developers to help us meet our AI innovation and sustainability objectives, targeting 1 to 4 gigawatts of new nuclear generation capacity in the US. We are taking an approach with this RFP so we can partner with others across the industry to bring new nuclear energy to the grid. The biggest, wealthiest companies on the planet are investing huge amounts of money into nuclear. And at the same time, all this is happening, extreme pressure is building under uranium prices as nuclear fuel brokers Evo Markets reported another huge $12 spike in spot conversion to a new all-time record high of almost $100 per kilogram of uranium, with sellers asking $102 for a 25x rise from its $4 bear market low, and a signal that higher uranium prices are coming as more newly signed conversion contracts will require purchasing of more mined uranium. This is very likely a direct result of the new total Russian ban on exports of enriched uranium to the U.S. So the supply-demand fundamentals cannot get better for uranium. We're in a multi-decade supply crunch. India eyeing up to 22 gigawatt nuclear capacity by 2031. India's total nuclear power capacity stands at approximately 8.2 gigawatts. In the next 5 years, we aim to double this figure to close to 14 gigawatts, which is doubling the demand for uranium. Obviously, China could approve 100 new nuclear reactors by 2035. And the lifespan of 4 nuclear power stations was extended. The lifespan of Scotland's last remaining nuclear power station and 3 other plants in England are to be extended. So uranium demand is skyrocketing, exponential, and the supply is getting scarcer and scarcer. And what we've been covering on this channel is how difficult it is for a lot of these miners to get into production. It's going to take many months, if not many years, to get uranium out of the ground. It's expensive, it's time consuming, it's difficult, and all the experts agree we're in a multi-decade supply crunch, meaning there isn't enough available to meet the demand. How GE Vernova plans to deploy small nuclear reactors across the developed world. And then we have small nuclear reactors entering the space, right? GE Vernova sees demand for as many as 57 small reactors in total across its target markets in the US. This is one of many small modular reactor companies which are going to proliferate nuclear energy around the world. It really doesn't get bigger than this when you understand the supply-demand fundamentals for this scarce resource.